Yo, boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing the good old fast sub rogue, and pretty much all we're doing is the same thing as usual. Pop every CD, hope for the best. Right as the H-Puck gets out of the CC, we're basically going to shadowy duel, and we're going to kill him here. Instead of nether walking, he obviously goes for the in cap, and he ends up dying, and we end up taking the W. So, sub rogue's kind of questionable right now. It's definitely not the best. Obviously, it can still work out. If people don't use CDs on your blades, it's pretty, pretty easy. So here we're gonna go rogue. Pretty much every time we stun the rogue, we're gonna stun the shaman. So here, what we're gonna do, we can either blind or we can kidney. I'm probably just gonna blind and then kidney here. We'll see what happens though. So here I pre-gouge, I blind, and then I'm gonna check. So basically, we get a perfect setup here. Pre-gouge the rogue, blind the shaman, and at this point, we get a really good setup. Now, I didn't have to click anything, so that's the greatest part about it. So I didn't have to use a single button. At this point, he's clicking every CD on me, so I'm going to have to cloak and evade. At this point, now we're just getting combo points up, getting it ready, and then I'm going to kidney shot the shaman and then stun the rogue. Or I can cheap shot, we'll see what happens. So I gouge instead, I kidney shot, I shadowy duel. My guy just needs to cyclone off my gouge, looks like he doesn't, and he ends up swapping it. Very unlucky, but kind of how it is. Here I trinket so I can get some pressure on the shaman, see if I can get a CD. I space the stun and try to get some more damage up. All well. Pretty much you're trying to keep a full rupture on the target, and you'll see that I get it ready here. So here I'm still trying to kill him. We end up getting evasion out of it, and that's pretty much all we're gonna get. So at this point, we're gonna pre-feint, and then we're gonna pre-gouge him. I can't kick the hex, so there's that. I'm gonna pre-feint again, most likely. So here he ends up stunning me, which is really bad for them, because obviously he's not going to be able to get the full kidney and do what he wants to do. But at the same time, it was okay. So we're not in the worst spot. Now we are running out of CDs, but overall we're not in the worst spot here. Again, we're going to kidney shot and then stun. So off this, we can either blind and then kidney, and then off the blind we're going to smoke bomb, and then we're going to try to sap him. So here, boom, we try to sap, but unfortunately we don't get it. And that's just how it goes sometimes. I end up sepsising, which is actually really bad, because sepsis, you really need sepsis on your blades in order to do any damage. So, yeah, I honestly didn't even think sepsis was such, like, I honestly didn't even think it did much, but yeah, it's literally needed. Like, you have to have sepsis with your blades, or you just won't do damage. Like, your blades will do, like, half of the damage that it would do when you have sepsis. So here, we end up bladesing, and as you can see here, uh, my guy doesn't cyclone again, which you think we would have killed here, but unfortunately his cheat death ends up saving him just enough. So I get kidneyed here. He cyclones, which is okay. This would be a good time to cyclone the rogue, because obviously I have no dance. I end up gouging here. At this point I can kidney off of it, so here I'm going to kidney. So pretty much just keeping the CC alive. We end up getting trinket, even though I don't have shadow dance and I have basically no damage. I'm basically backstabbing the entire time. That's how that goes. So we're probably gonna vanish offensively to start resetting some CDs. So here we're not gonna trinket because there's nothing happening. I'm gonna vanish to reset CDs. I'm gonna get my combo points, kidney shot, cheap shot, get an opener here. So actually a very nice opener. You think he would die here, but he ends up actually surviving. I trinket, and then we take him out. So insane like usual, we end up taking him out, unhealable damn like usual, and it was bread and butter. End up taking him out. And I think I ended up skipping it early because I tried to get the video done earlier. But regardless, on to the next clip. So here it's gonna be DH Priest, and at this point it's going to be we're gonna run in, we're gonna sap the DH. We actually end up sapping the Priest, and we end up just opening. I'm not gonna secret tech until I'm in Shadowy Duel. So at this point he's going to get out of my sap. I'm gonna secret tech. And he ends up almost surviving, but thankfully he doesn't nether, he doesn't click a single button, and the reaction time was it was not there, unfortunately. Now this was a really long game, insanely long game actually, but pretty much DH Druid is pretty easy. I mean, Rogue should usually win this depending on the player. So here I sap him on his hunt. I'm trying to get out the Druid obviously, because if I open on the DH with no CC, it's probably not going to go too well. So here we end up just waiting for the druid to come out, and it looks like he's not coming out. Here I end up just randomly getting him out. I gouge him. I cheap shot. We're probably going to Shadowy Duel. He ends up cycling the DH on my Shadowy Duel. So that absolutely just messed our entire go up, which is like one bad thing about him cycloning. He does it at very bad times, but he got a little bit better as we played because obviously this is a coaching session, and if you are interested in buying carries or coaching, PM me on my Discord down in the description below. But otherwise, we're just running it up. So at this point, we're kind of just trying to get our combo points here because obviously we have no Shadow Dance for a minute. He's going to full cycle on me. It's not really going to matter too much because obviously I don't have any Shadow Dances. But the same thing, usually when you blind, you're usually going to want to, Kinney blind, but, we'll see what happens here. But as long as you get CC on both targets, you're pretty much fine, whether it's a gouge on the rest of the druid. As you can see, I gouge the DH, and then I Kinney, and then after this, I can blind him. So here I blind him off of it. I cheap shot him. I use my Sepsis. We get some damage rolling on my Smoke Bomb so I can try to get the sap. It looks like no, he gets the Cyclone. Maybe I can sap out Cyclone. It looks like his Tyrant or his Trents are keeping him in combat. Full gouge. At this point, he's not going to die. We're just going to put a Rupture up on him, and that's pretty much it. Now again, you need Sepsis with your blades. So I would suggest literally saving them for each other. Otherwise, it's not gonna work out. Like you miss out way too much damage when you don't have it. It's just like an unbelievable amount. So you definitely want to stack those together like at all times, which I had to start doing. I just didn't do it apparently. But pretty much all we're doing is the same thing. Kidney shot the druid, cheap shot the DH, and that it's just rinse and repeat. Obviously, as a sub, you're probably gonna want to play with a. Oh, actually, I get an insane sap here. So he roots me, and I sap him. It was a good sap. So off this, I'm just gonna kidney shot. So I'm gonna kidney shot the druid. We'll see what happens here. So here I full rupture him just so I can make sure I kill him. So I think he actually ends up living this entire go. So this is the difference. But or maybe I did vanish. We'll see. Do I not vanish here? No, I don't. So that was a mistake. Yeah, so I should have vanished to reset my Sepsis, and he would have died. So that mistake almost cost us the game, even though he almost died. We got him to 3% HP. So had I vanished beforehand, obviously it would have been a lot better. So another mistake Yante by the X. Unfortunate. At this point, we're kind of in a bad spot. We kind of need blades. I ended up missing kick like pretty much. This was obviously these clips are I don't even know when's the last time I played Rogue. I've just been playing everything but Rogue. I think I haven't really been enjoying that much Rogue. I played some Outlaw occasionally in solo, but otherwise it's no bueno. So here he ends up popping off his damage in me or on top of me, all that good stuff, and then he cyclones me. At this point, we're gonna kidney cheap shot. Like I can either cyclone or I can just click blind, and then I try to sap off the blind again. He didn't even need a blind. A lot of people don't know, but if a sub-rogue doesn't have Sepsis or Blades up at a time, they're not going to kill you. Like, you're literally 100% fine. So unless you have Sepsis or Blades on top of you, you're not going to die ever unless he's with, like, a mage or something. Like, if it's a healer DPS, you're 99% of the time not going to die. So here I pre-gouge. Getting my common points, I'm going to cheap shot, kidney shot. Here we get a pretty solid go. So here we get our trinket. Let's see here. Let's see if I try to sap. So here I kick instead. My guy's close to dead. He has Trinket, Iron Bark. He just needs to use every single CD right now. He has Tree Form as well, so as long as he just clicks every CD right now, I don't know how he lived without using either. That's just how broken rest of the druid is. So here he ends up, he was actually able to hold Iron Bark and Skin somehow. So here I pre-gouge on his I-Beam. I'm going to try to get my comm points. I'm going to vanish the moment it's up because obviously I don't have a Shadow Dance and I need it up. So I'm going to vanish immediately. So we'll see what happens, or maybe I'll save it, we'll see. So here I'm going to be doing blades. I use my Thistle Tea to get my energy up, so that way I'm not waiting an extra 5 minutes to get energy. At this point, we have one more chance. Cheap shot, we're going to kidney shot the DH, because obviously we need a kidney shot on our burst so we get enough pressure and absolutely destroy and decimate this guy. So again, that's the difference between having Sepsis and not having Sepsis. So make sure you have Sepsis whenever you're bursting. Save Sepsis for your blades, otherwise you're going to look, questionable like I did. And for the last clip, this is basically an opener kill. Very lucky actually, because I ended up getting like insanely close. So here, the Druid almost dies, and he ends up tranking, and we get we time the Eviscerate perfectly. So here we swap with Cloak. We're gonna pop every CD. So big dam on him here. I shadowy dome. You think he would die. I don't know how he lives at that. So at this point, I'm just going to vanish and I'm going to wait. So I bomb him and now I just instantly eviscerate. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.